Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the Vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the Vault, episode 504. Second of the three reasons you're not in trust, and this is mindset equals knowledge. So we're definitely excited and thankful we can do this episode. Thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. Always appreciate everybody that hits the like and the subscribe. Go ahead and hit the like so we can keep the channel growing. Always appreciate everybody. We know that this is a pop-up episode, so feel free to reach out Christian at trustchristian.com. We got open enrollment for Trustee Training. We're moving forward. Another year. Episode 504. Second reason you're not in trust. Mindset equal knowledge. We wanted to do this episode because this is one of those things where somebody will say, oh man, what's really stopping me? One of them is your mindset. Some people really don't understand that trustee mindset is entrepreneur mindset, investor mindset. So the easiest book to go read is Robert Kiyosaki's Cash Flow Quadrant. The cash flow quadrant is going to set you up to where you understand the difference clearly between what is that? Business and investor versus entrepreneur employee. And a self-employed employee. These are very important distinguishments. So somebody can say, "Oh, what's the shortcut in the path to how to get to wealthy?" Well, understanding what is your mindset. So traditionally, when trustees even come in trustee training, and one of the first books we share with them is to get the E-Myth. Some trustees from this episode will come in the program and say, "Oh, I read the book." Well, do you know what type of trustee you are now? Are you an employee trustee? Are you going to sit on assets? Are you a trustee that is going to come in and say, "Okay, I'm an asset manager and grow assets from nothing"? You think about it. Some trustees come in with the mindset, "Oh, where am I going to get the money from?" Well, you're supposed to be the smart one here. This is being honest. You're the first gen. You're supposed to either come in with a bag of money or a mindset that's sharp, that says I'm willing to build the infrastructure that's going to funnel wealth through it and do our best to retain as much as possible so we can pass along from one generation to the next. Second of three reasons you're not in trust, the mindset equal knowledge. They say, "Oh, trust Christian to vote." Did you really have to say it to me like that? Does it have to be an employee-based mentality versus an entrepreneur? Does it have to be? Does it have to be a? Does it have to be that? Well, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, even asset managers work for people. So is it a complete and against employee conversation? It is not. The conversation is a person thinking about sitting on assets or growing them. There is a difference. When an individual or family misses out on that, they miss out on a critical opportunity to keep cash flow coming in. And it's not just privately, it's publicly. Why? Because there's still quite a bit of cash expanded in the public. So it's rather important to be able to at times have the flexibility to grab assets in the public and as well grow assets in the private. This is a mindset though. You could have really said it was a lifestyle. Why you think people want to be the only one living in the private by themselves? We got trustees on the line day after day. "Oh man, I'm the only one I could talk to about this information. I went private with you, Trust Christian in the vault, and so now I'm over here talking to the half wits." the ones that's not in private trust, they can't show me their private structure. They don't talk to me about their private structure. But Trust Christian Vote, I'm out here on the island by myself. That's the downfall. That's the reason why we had to do the workshops. That's why we were doing them, quarterly, because it's rather important for trustees to meet each other so it can feel just a little bit more real, and they want to be able to connect. We used to not want them to swap spit. This was a very important moment because when you're in the private, you gotta have integrity. It's the mindset. You want to preserve the relationships. You got families in these environments. So we got families in these environments. A public mindset is against family. A private mindset is for family. A private mindset knows the information is passed along through families. So you get around private families. Families that are being private. We've brought in people from the private. I mean, what more could the people ask for? What more could they ask for? Oh man, well, I don't know about the no face channel, but then when you show the securities lawyer third generation private family foundation, I still gotta think about it. I gotta figure it out. You're not wealthier than them. They're private equity. They transacted in the billions already. Where's your track record? It's a mindset. So one of the best mentors we've had so far say, you gotta get around the best investors if you're gonna be one of the best investors. This comes down to being one of the best trustees. See, some people they get this thing mixed up with the vehicle and the vision. The vehicles are momentary. You don't want to even think the team is momentary, but the team is momentary. Teams are in transition. As a senior trustee, there's managers. Think about it. You're a transition person. You think about it. If you weren't first gen and you're second gen, you're part of the second management crew that's supposed to preserve assets from one generation to the next. Simple as that. Second reason, second of the three reasons you're not in trust is, well, it's a mindset. Sure, if you don't know what you don't know, fair enough. Now we know we're asset managers. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. There is this public perception right now that there's going to be a shared economy. That means that there's going to get rid of this classism. And to hear this theory pervasive it goes to many old worn out theories that have not worked. And when you think about freedom, opportunity, where are you going to get that at? To open up shop and get wealthy. Oh man, I don't know if I want to shut down shop. We know you don't want to shut down shop. You don't want to shut down shop. When do people want to grow different assets, ladies and gentlemen? Well, if you want to grow different assets, diversify the portfolio, as people say, you got to get around different asset managers that are good at what they do so you can get the long story short. So you can get the best information right away and not get the watered down information right away. See, people thought that it wasn't going to be an investment. First of all, if you're an investor, you're investing. You're investing in your education. As a private investor, you're investing in your private education. Where did this theory come from? Oh man, I don't know if I need to invest in my education. It's supposed to be a handout because you my brother, you my sister. No, it's never going to work that way. And the interesting part about it is if it's brought down through families, a private family retreat is an investment into the family education. The site visits are educational site visits for the family. It's a mindset. Do I really want to educate myself on trusteeship? Or do I just want the advantages? Hmm. We here. We're aware. We're very aware. The mindset. Is it is it truly thinking 2 to 3 generations away, or are you thinking right now? Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Are you thinking about right now financially, or are you thinking out long term financially? Because this is the question when we think about the greats, when we think about anyone exceptional, when we think about how things are done, people think out and reverse engineer. We talked to a trustee about that the other day, and they really were appreciative of that because all the greats have shared they reverse engineer their success. It's a mindset. The mindset of, oh, well, it worked for someone else, but how do I know it's going to work for me? The mindset of that. It could work for someone else, but how do I know it's going to work for me? The reason why you're going to know is because of the knowledge you know. Just like they know it works and they're executing it, you're investing in an education that's going to give you that information because it's information. Information gives you the confidence to make a decision. Oh, isn't it? If it's not an emotional decision, it's a I'm going to read about it. Can you give me the information I need to read about to make an informed decision? Not a lot emotional decision, a logical decision, which is an informed decision. How do you make that decision? With the right knowledge. How do you get the right knowledge? By inquiring with the right sources. But here we go. Oh, I'm going to get in private trusteeship, but I'm going to inquire with people that aren't in trust. Well, there you go. Mindset lack. Mindset lack of knowledge. Why? Because asking people that are not in the vehicle, but who's the individuals that are looking to be in or use the vehicle? The training comes from people being in the vehicle. Well, we're sharing with the going public today. This is the second reason. Some people could say, "Oh, is that a long reason? Is it the mindset? Is it the knowledge? Is it the this? Is it the that?" Well, ladies and gentlemen, it could be many things when it comes to your mindset, especially when it comes to the reason why people aren't going forward. Oh, I want to be public and private. It definitely doesn't work that way. And that's the misconception. We'll just go ahead and say it. When people really don't want to go private, they'll say, "Oh, I'm going to go public and private. I'm going to stay public and private. I'm going to see if I can mix it up. I'm going to see if I can jump both sides." And so this is where we see that that's where it really doesn't pay off. This is where, people they'll run into a situation. And so, we hear people, they share this information. But once again, are you public and private? Or are you just private? Or are you public? Well, I'm going private, and isn't that going to take time? Ladies and gentlemen, everybody wants to sit here and talk about going private. First of all, if you're going private, that means you stop doing things publicly. You personally. That's it. That's it. There's nothing more to it. We're gonna be honest with y'all at the vault. Yeah, people say, "Oh, I want the magic pill." The magic pill is if you're going private, that means you're gonna be private. You don't need credit cards and all this public stuff. Oh, how am I gonna get a house? People know how to get a house in the private. They get on the line with the financial advisor. I remember when we sat in a meeting. This was like the early days. Mentor, you sitting in a meeting with somebody that tell you they paid off $700,000 worth of loans, or a house in less than 10 years. You're like, man, this ain't no way this is happening. This is happening because people are practicing private family banking. They're paying their house off in less than 14 years. Then the more you be like, man, how are they paying it off more than less than the mortgage time? Because they're practicing private family banking. That's what we heard early on in the private wealth environment. We didn't hear about all this mortgage stuff. We didn't hear all these questions. We saw people sitting in the environment say, "Oh man, okay, so what needs to be properly assigned?" And then you just hear nowadays, people may not be getting in trust for reasons of, oh, I'm trying to be the beneficiary. We sat on the line for days this past week talking to trustees about the beneficiary, being the beneficiary. How you gonna be the beneficiary? You the trustee. That's like saying the government official is the beneficiary of their job. Are you okay with that? These people are officers of a public entity. It's the government. It's the public company that you can get elected to and be an officer to. So how are you going to be a beneficiary? At the same time, people, they don't know if they live or if they dead. We're going to go ahead and say it. Oh, I got to capture the straw man, the dead entity. They calling it a straw man. They done sat on the internet. They sitting over here trying to type their name with semicolons and all this other stuff. We get it all the time. And we're addressing it. Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about business in the public, there's limited liability. Even the officers in the government have limited liability. Is that hard to hear? So we're here in the public talking about public entities and private. And the reason why people are not private is because of their mindset. Think about it. 90% of the population has been given a public education to own something, not to control it. So here we are. The people that we deal with that reach out to the vault, that's why they're reaching out. Because they know that that was a gimmick and a gag. Oh, I'm going to be private. I'm going to be public for my whole life. And they say, oh, this is what they say. I always knew there was something else. I always knew it was something else. I always knew. Right. You hear that sense of knowing? That sense of knowing comes from just seeing different things, reading, you see different codes, and now you're in the matrix, quote unquote, and you're able to see the codes. You're able to see that there is a proper way to do things. It's not against anything, it's a system. That's all. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listening to replay. Appreciate Mississippi for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate Mississippi for tuning in live, listening to replay. Got Mississippi tuning in. Definitely wanted to get this one out. We got one more reason. The mindset one was huge. We could sit on here for a while, and talk about the mindset. The mindset goes deeper than, small things. It could go your mindset towards the money. People don't even know about the double coincidence of once. So we're going to share it with you all. It's called the double coincidence of once. That's why we have paper money in the modern era. It's so we're not bartering. It's the double coincidence of once. You're going to always want more, especially if you're consuming things on a daily basis. And people are consuming things that they're not growing on a daily basis. So it's a double coincidence of once. We all want something and we can't barter our way out of it. We don't have enough barter in us. The paper allows us to have some deductive gain. It also allows you to now is put people in paper, quote unquote. We're not going to go there today. You got to, if at the end of the day, it's a mindset. The knowledge. Oh, people say this one guy comes on the line and says, I read the modern money theory and I read the Federal Reserve Act and this, that, and the third. Okay. Did you read the minutes of the FMOC recently? Definitely didn't do that. But they want to say, oh, well, I know that I could discharge something because the government has this right to do it and we do. First of all, the government, they're not the government. So let's address that. But when we address it, oh, well, the Fed's not the gov, then okay, well, so why can't we do the same thing? Well, first of all, do you even have any gold? Do you have any silver? Do you have anything that has some type of arbitrary value in any type of market other than your name? Oh no, my name is worth gold. We hear you. It's the mindset, though. Of course, it's the mindset. because the knowledge didn't let them know about the double coincidence of once. When they found out about the double coincidence of once and they watched the video on YouTube, they'd be like, oh, okay, well, now I know about it. Right, it's the double coincidence of once. So now you know the need of this because now what we're going to do? All have promissory notes? We're all going to do discharges and promissory notes to each other? Well, okay, that works in a certain realm, but how? How's it going to work for you? You got to know securities. Oh man, this is security. This is what we had recently. Oh, it's a security. Everything's security. Well, if it's a security, how are you securitizing it? Period. What financial stable? Are you depending on the states? Is your birth certificate dependent on the state? The so-called place that you think is bankrupt, you try to use them for their full faith and credit. Or you wasn't supposed to be a citizen, but now you a citizen? All of a sudden you a citizen to use something to discharge some debt? Because how you going to discharge debt if you're not a citizen? Well, because I'm going to do it in the private. I'm going to be private. And I'm going to do it from my private capacity because that's the full capacity. And my full capacity, they'll try to use some Latin term, of I'm doing it in my full capacity. What? Standing in my proper person. Oh, you standing in your proper person now. They use another Latin term. Oh, I'm standing in my proper person, so I'm going to be able to discharge the public debt. Who the heck are you? First of all, that's like asking, does do these officers of the current Fed discharge debt? And they don't actually. They show pretty much like everything that you have to show on books, they have to show on the books. They have it in their minutes. They show sometimes what they're holding. They say how they're selling set treasuries, buying treasuries. They tell you how they're doing it. So you say where to get the money from. If you read the creature from Jekyll's Isle, you'll see that these are private families that have come together and created their own financial institution, and they've created it at such a large level that that's what private wealth can look like. So when we see what crypto has the ability to be, we do see what crypto has the ability to be. When this could be $1 trillion market, and we can grow from billions overnight to trillions. Yeah, if you're going to create a new financial reserve system, they aren't banking on reserves right now. We don't hear that. We don't hear the backing of land. They always talk about, people come to us all the time with these crypto coins. Oh, crypto coin, and then it's the where's the backing of the land? Oh no, it's this mountain in Africa. Yeah, right. Y'all don't want to hear that, but we've heard it already. There's a mountain in Africa that they had a whole control of some land, and they were putting on shares on it, and you can own a piece of the mountain through the crypto. This isn't financial advice, this isn't legal advice, but these are the stories you hear, ladies and gentlemen, over the internet. Oh man, and this was even at a convention. Oh man, we got the land, in Africa, and we're actually gonna, do a crypto coin based around the value of the land. And even now, people, we got people that come through that are trustees that are saying, oh yeah, I got lithium on my land. So what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do? You gonna put some crypto? You gonna turn it into a crypto deal? Oh man, I'm gonna go ahead and put my land and turn it into an NFT. I'm gonna go ahead and take my land. You have to pay some money. Literally, you're gonna pay to start to do all of that. I'm gonna pay to start a crypto coin on my lithium. Yeah, right. They're not doing that, ladies and gentlemen. It's just labor intensive, it's educational intensive. Once you know how to do it, then sure. But traditionally, we see people that are holding land, even if they have lithium, and the people that we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, they're not with that knowledge of knowing how to do what we just said. Create an NFT, one, or two, create the crypto off of the land. Think about how many people have a house. They could create a house, a coin, a portfolio off of their houses with a coin. We're not promoting any coins. We're not having a financial conversation, a legal conversation, but we're talking. And from what it sounds like, oh, you could create a coin based off of value. Well, think about it. If you got mortgages on the property, even if you got equity in the property, why didn't it turn into a coin? Because it's not as easy as it sounds. This is Web.3. It's It's so much latency involved right now with, oh, I gotta go create a coin. I gotta go through the KYC. I gotta go through all this information gathering just to get something going. This sounds like it's an international deal. It's not even a domestic deal popular yet. Correct. Easily we could have these conversations with people when they talk about, oh, crypto and public and private. Okay, we're talking about it now. You just created a private portfolio with contracts. Like, what are we talking about here? Why is that conversation not being had in the public when we talk about this crypto stuff? When we talk about, oh, it's the next Web3 and this everything. Yeah, right. It's not. We have yet to see this thing take off like a rocket. It's because the knowledge is behind. It's like AI. We've had conversations with people over the past week about this AI stuff, and it's not to say people are scared. You got to think about it. You got to be using AI right now for your trusteeship. If you're missing it, you're missing the ability to take notes into a trustee that's artificial intelligence. You're about to create an artificial intelligence trustee. Why would you not do that? This is where we are in 2023. But you got people scared or asking us, oh man, do you think it's a good thing or not a good thing? Well, clearly, if you can create a robot that's going to be a trustee and not create emotional decisions in the trustee mindset, that could just sit there even in the room and give wise wisdom from one and two and three generations. This is how you live on through a symbiotic body. But we know this at the vault because we're practicing it. So yes, this is one of the reasons why people aren't in trust. Oh man, I'm not going to get in trusteeship because I'm not going to get the AI, so I can get the AI to be my trustee, the trustee of the family, and then it's going to be able to give the answers to the next successors or to anybody else that comes in, period. Because I'm going to be able to give it some problems. It's going to come up with some solutions. I'm going to come up with, it's going to have problems for many generations, and we're going to be able to solve those problems into an algorithm. We wouldn't say it's for free, but it's an algorithm. But I'm afraid of the AI though. Okay. Okay. And this is the knowledge base. This is the knowledge gap that equals that mindset gap. Why would I use the technology? You're living in the era of technology. You're living in the age of information. Supposedly you're living in the age of information, but you're not utilizing the technology to its fullest capacity. Oh yeah, I know that a little bit. The fact that any American that has first class technology is not using it to its full capacity is showing the knowledge gap. It's showing not just mental laziness, but a knowledge gap. Why? Because it doesn't sound. First of all, if there's propaganda that says AI is bad, are you going to say AI is good? Or are you going to go check it out? How many people have checked it out? How many people have opened up an account? How many people have started utilizing it? Yeah, oh, well, I don't know anybody around me that's using it. Exactly. The tech people, or maybe you're not tech. Yeah, I'm not tech. I'm old now. I'm over 25 years old. I'm over 30. Yeah, well, we know why. That the technology will be utilized by tech. So you talk about that 1% once again. Why would you not adapt to the times? The times is the 1%. The times is the 1%. The tech. They're the 1% right now. They're the modern day 1%. And somebody would say, oh, I'm not going to adapt and learn this technology. Oh, I'm not going to learn it at 60 and 70 years old. What difference does it make? Sure, you don't have a hoverboard, but you have something that can dang near play your favorite classics just by you telling it what to do. This is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, I don't know if I want the tech to be on my back this hard. So I gotta use tech and trust. Why would you not use tech and trust? Tech is in trust. Alphabet owns Google. You all know this. You all hear this. And you sitting here wondering, should I get going? Yeah, because you're not tech. And tech is going to eat people's lunch. It's going to outplay people. It's just going to take people's jobs. It's going to it's going to be everything that you don't want to be and more. Oh man, I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to remember cell phone numbers. That's why they got a cell phone. I don't want to remember people's telephone numbers. That's why they got a cell phone. See how it's going, ladies and gentlemen? Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listening to replay. This is Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, it's Christian at trustchristian.com. Feel free to reach out for trustee training. These small mindset tweaks are what we go through in trustee training, whether it's providing resources to develop the mindset of a private trustee, or even just having proper training or having more continuous training in trusteeship. And that's something that we provide. So, looking forward to hearing from you all. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. Peace and joy.